Last night was definitely the craziest night we've had on this trip.
I think that was the worst night we've ever had in the van since we moved into the van.
So last night we got done at the border extremely late. We made it all the way through Honduras. We're actually in Nicaragua now. And since it took so long at the border, we couldn't really get to a good camping spot for the night. So we're at this tiny little town right over the border. My impression of border towns has always been that they're usually underfunded and kind of dangerous. We ended up staying here anyways. We came to a spot that was on iOverlander. It said that there was security throughout the night, which was not true. So we pulled up, it looked a little sketchy, but we were all tired from a really long day, so we just kind of closed our doors, shut off the windows. At about 12:30 in the morning, I'm obviously laying in bed asleep, and I hear what sounds like somebody like kind of messing with the door handle or something like this. And so the gears in my head start turning, and the second that I hear that, as I'm lunging out of bed, Frank goes, woof! And so I run up to the front of the van with Frank. I pull back this drape and I look through this window right here. This is where I see a young Nicaraguan man trying to rip the door handle open or shove something or get his fingers in the door jamb. I don't know if this guy has a gun. I don't know if this guy has a knife. I don't know what his intentions are. He seems to be talking to somebody else, so it seems we're evenly matched, if not outnumbered. Kaylee and Jordan are in their own bus right behind us, so I immediately grab the keys and I tell Allie, get up. I run up to the front of the van and I tell Allie, somebody's trying to pick the lock or trying to open the door. You'd think that me running from here to there, grabbing the keys, would have made enough noise or shaken the van that this guy would have known that there was people in here, that they were awake, that something was going on. But I came back up, I looked, he's still trying to get into the door, which only made me more nervous. So then I grabbed a couple things that were up here in the cab, which was like this giant water bottle and a basket. And as I grabbed the water bottle and the basket and set them down on the ground, I think that made enough noise that it kind of spooked him. Because then as I looked out, I was about to jump in, start the van and just start driving. Then as I looked out, they were running away. I really, really want to like you, Nicaragua. So that was our first night here. It was a very unsettling experience. I just hope it doesn't set the tone for what it's gonna be like while we're here.
It doesn't really matter where we park. When we're inside the van, when the doors are locked, we feel pretty safe. And last night was just a stark reminder that there's very little separating us on the inside from whatever is outside, and that we're a lot more vulnerable than we think we are. We were exhausted, and we picked a camp spot that was supposedly vetted, but probably not the best one. We basically spent the entire rest of the night looking out the windows and making sure it wasn't gonna happen again. We didn't end up leaving to go to another parking spot because it was like 2 a.m. by the time all of this was done. We didn't want to drive at night, and we didn't know if any of the gated, secure parking spots that we found on iOverlander would even let us in that early in the morning or that late in the evening. We're definitely on edge this morning. We're trying to learn from it. We're trying to grow from it.
We've got a really awesome day today. We're not gonna let this hold us back. We're leaving the nomadic movement behind today. They are actually going on a different adventure. Let's get it started.
We're on our way to Leon. We have about an hour left of our drive, and we're just kind of like reanalyzing and thinking through what happened last night and how it could have been avoided and what we can do in the future to prevent that from happening. Really, that's never happened to us before. About a year ago in Vancouver in Canada, we were sleeping somewhere we felt was safe, and in the middle of the night someone tried to steal our mountain bikes that were on the back of that van. It was in our first van, not the one that we're currently in. That really freaked us out, and it was a huge impetus for us to build out another van where we could store our mountain bikes under the bed instead of having them be exposed on the outside back of the van. Since then, we haven't had any major issues in Canada, the States, or any of the other countries we've been traveling through. It really just freaked us out more than anything else.
And in reality, I'm sure once that guy or the two guys realized oh, there's somebody in here and they're awake and they're moving around, they were probably just as scared as us. They probably thought maybe we had a gun and they were afraid that maybe we were gonna spring out of the van and beat them up or whatever. Still just very unsettling not knowing what the intention or their capability was. And the fact that they ran away when there was any type of like real noise inside the van is reassuring, and obviously they didn't come back. But for the rest of the night, I was trying to sleep, but really laying with my ear next to the window, listening for any sound outside, and I was pretty much awake all night.
We're thinking through prevention techniques for the future, but it's also making us really think through a lot of different worst case scenarios. None of them are good. None of them are okay, even remotely.
Frank is the only thing that's not replaceable in this van. So that's a very scary thought. But I think that just means that, especially in Nicaragua and probably for the remainder of this journey, we are always going to be trying to park in guarded campsites where there's security guards and a fence or whatever measures we have to take to make sure that we're safe. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to sleep from now on.
And I mean, normally that's where we sleep. We end up staying in guarded, secure, gated campgrounds or parking lots. But we let our guard down last night. We were really tired. We had like a 12 or 14 hour long day at the borders in Honduras, and we were just trying to go to sleep, and that was one of the closest sites we could find.
Safety over convenience, a lesson we learned in Nicaragua. We made it. Bigfoot Hospitals. Beautiful.
So I guess the number one thing to do while we're here in Nicaragua is volcano boarding. Interesting.
It's kind of like snowboarding. Or not. I think it's kind of like sledding, but with no snow. We'll see. Here we go. It's getting hot, and I think that during the hike we're just going to be in the blazing sun. Hopefully it's kind to my skin. It doesn't get too hot up there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 95 degrees today.
Sometimes the people, 90% of the time, the people who are scared the most end up being the fastest one. I think that they just sit on the board and they just like, okay, just get it over with. Boom. I think that that's what happened. This is how we're gonna be using this. We're gonna be clocking down all of your speeds. Then you guys can show off your speeds to your friends. But since we're gonna be using this, guys, we will have some fastest boarders and some slowest ones. And what will we have left? The empty cooler with some cold water and ice, right? And we're not gonna throw it away. You know what's gonna happen, right? We're gonna be dumping all that cold water on the loser set. The slowest one, we have to be doing. It's like an ice bucket challenge, but that's one punishment.
It's gonna be
The
me.
second punishment. Follow my orientation, you guys will be great. You cannot break, you cannot stop.
Guys, we're waiting up here. We're about to take off. This is always the worst part, just the anticipation. We're being told about all the people that chicken out and take the walking path instead of actually sliding down the volcano.
All right. That's all I can say. It's scary. I'm gonna hold you guys right here in my hands with the handle. You'll get to see my face. Maybe that's enough. I'm very scared. Listo? I almost died. I almost died a lot. I have rocks in every crevice of my body. Can you see how many rocks are inside my goggles? That was terrifying.
You were flying!
I was like trying not to go fast the entire time.
Babe, I think I won.
Really?
I won the ice bucket challenge.
Oh, that's the lowest. Look at this. Those are rocks that were in my goggles.
Wow. ¿Todo bien?
Todo bien.
Perfecto.
All right, fastest one today, guys. Darío. Slowest girl is Allie.
Oh.
Allie is the slowest girl.
I wanted a shower today, that's why.
Okay.
You said there was an ice bucket challenge.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that.
She got a cold shower today. Como a los ahí, loco. Come on.
Oh, I don't
Okay.
like this.
Here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Good job. Woo!
Somebody that hates the beach.
Perfect. We have no rocks. It's a big, wide beach, and it's not even that strong of a riptide or like current, so you can actually swim in it. It's really nice. It's empty and it's beautiful. I can't believe we were up in the mountains today at the very top of a volcano, and now we're ending the day on the water, on the coast.
I think we've had so much fun with you guys, even though we started out with a terrible morning this morning, didn't really get any sleep. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on this adventure with us. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the like button for us, thumbs up, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
We'll talk to you soon, guys.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye.